Browse to the Work Files folder and open this file, custom_window.fla. Open up the timeline, click on the first frame, and then open up the Actions window. This file, you can see, contains ActionScript. This ActionScript will create a custom browser window and customize it using actually a JavaScript call. The call is this line right here, the last one, external_interface.call. And then there are some parameters there that you're actually going to pass to a JavaScript function that you'll write in an HTML file. This script will give you more control over the user experience and is generally the preferred method of publishing my Flash SWF files to a browser, as this code lets me customize the browser by specifying the width, height, and the appearance of the browser that will be showing my Flash work. You can prevent the browser window from being resized, remove browser location and toolbars, and control other aspects of the browser appearance using this script. Notice the script starts with a typical event listener with a link button right there. The name of this button here is link_btn. There's my event listener to handle a mouse event click. It's going to run this click button function. Notice the function calls a series of variables including a string representing the URL. Now that can either be an absolute path to a website, http://www.vtc.com, or in this case it's a relative link to a images folder where I have a VTC graphic. I'm also going to pass along a string to create a new window. That's going to be a JavaScript call. And then this is the key line in terms of customizing our browsers. This line will pass along some information to JavaScript to set the browser window to 620 pixels wide, 470 pixels tall. Left edge will be 80 pixels from the left, top 180, and the toolbar will be invisible. The location will be invisible, and the directories will be invisible. I can also change those to the number 1 if I want. And then here is the key call in terms of ActionScript external interface call. And then there are some more parameters I'm going to pass along to that JavaScript. Now, the JavaScript code you'll want to write in the head section of the HTML page that will be generated by Flash when you publish your SWF file. So I went ahead and published my file here by choosing File Publish. If I go to the Publish Settings, notice that it created an HTML file called Custom Window. I believe I took out the original when I did this, and I placed this in the Work Files folder. So now you can open up a HTML editor like Dreamweaver. In your editor, browse to the location of that HTML file that Flash created. In this case, it is in the VTC ActionScript 3.0 Work Files folder. Right there, it's called custom_window. If we open that up and then go into Code View, what you want to do is right before the closing head tag, you want to add the following lines of code. Notice that there's quite a bit of code in here that the Flash application has added to your HTML file. But if we go to the bottom here, right here where the final script is, right before the head ends and the body starts, is you want to write this line of code right there. Script language equals JavaScript in quotations, close caret, function. There's the JavaScript function that we're going to be creating. Open a new browser window, and notice that this line here has some parameters, URL, window name, and window features that are going to be passed to it from ActionScript. Also the window.open function here has some parameters. Those are the lines of code that we added over in ActionScript. Close the curly brace, close the script tag. Make sure again that's in the head section in your HTML file. Save the file, then open up your browser, browse to the location of that HTML file. In this case again it's the custom window file, and let's open this in our browser. There it is. And we're going to now this time create a new browser window. There it is, created by JavaScript, that's sized perfectly for my image. Notice that all the Chrome in my Firefox browser is gone. The location toolbar, the top menu, and all the Chrome are all missing because I stripped it out in my ActionScript. Let's go back and I'll show you where that is again. Here in the Actions window, there's my script. setting up these string parameters to pass along to the JavaScript. There's the toolbar equals 0. Width and the height are set. I have some additional parameters over here to the right. The location toolbar is missing. The directories equals 0. The key again is this line right here, external interface.call. Now you can use this method to call other JavaScript functions defined in your HTML pages. Make sure that you do not overwrite this HTML file with the needed JavaScript code when you republish the SWF file. For example, if I'm not careful about changing the name here in the publish settings, when I publish here, I'm going to publish a new HTML file that will be missing that JavaScript code that I added in there in Dreamweaver. And to prevent that, that's why I changed the name of that HTML file that I published here in this file, just in case I hit the publish button by mistake. Now typically you would upload the SWF file that I published here and the HTML file that I modified in Dreamweaver to your remote host and then test on the internet and not from your local drive. Security restrictions will sometimes prevent you from opening a new window from your hard drive here in Flash. This is a Flash security feature that restricts Flash movies from communicating with and loading other files and data from locations other than its own. This is a security feature to protect users from Flash really accessing local files or secretly installing viruses or other security threats. Now what you want to do is set the Flash player security so you can bypass these security warnings from specified locations on your computer where it is safe to do these tests. So let me now move on to the next movie and demonstrate how to set these features, specifically the Flash player security, so you can bypass these errors.